Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for February 4th. February 4th is the 35th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 330 days remaining to the end of the year, 331 in leap years. Today's word is spate. Spate is a noun that means a large number or amount, such as a spate of cookbooks, or a sudden strong outburst, such as a spate of anger. This word comes to us from Middle English. First known use of the word spate is in the 1400s. And with that, Roman Emperor Septimus Severus was preparing to lead a military campaign when he died in February 4th in the year 211. He'd already made both his sons co-emperors with him when they'd turned 10, as was apparently the custom at the time. They were about a year apart in age, 21 and 22 years old at the time that their father died. Unfortunately, these two young men didn't get along with each other. His death left the control of the empire to these two quarreling sons on February 4th, 211. He had instructed them to make peace with each other. They didn't. Apparently hated each other, these two brothers. They were in Britain when their father died, and on the way back to Rome, they kept well away from each other, wouldn't even stay in the same house together or share a meal. Once back in Rome, they would only meet together in the presence of their mother. They considered splitting the empire into two halves, but their mother didn't want them to do that. They'd have to work it out. How they worked it out is that the older son, Caracalla, asked his mother to arrange a peace meeting between the two of them in their mother's living quarters, and had his younger brother Geta murdered in their mother's arms by his centurions. Geta will have been about 22, Caracalla 23. Pretty bold move, but now he was the emperor. The emperor. Did he feel guilty at all? Maybe. How he dealt with it was to issue an order called a damnatio memoriae, or condemnation of memory. This is where the powers that be try to erase any history and memory of a person or event. You could see evidence of this sort of erasure from ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and, in this case, ancient Rome. Caracalla did everything he could think of to obliterate any trace of the fact that Geta ever lived, destroying records and art, and even massacring some estimated 20,000 people of Geta's supporters, guards, advisors, staff, and friends. I don't know what happened between those two brothers to have so much animosity towards each other, but it definitely began to boil over with the death of their father, Emperor Septimus Severus, on February 4th, 211. And I got a little wound up in this story, and for sure there are definitely a lot of other things that have happened on February 4th, like World Cancer Day, Rosa Parks Day, a spate of birthdays, other items of interest. So I'll put links to some of these previous episodes for February 4th up in the iCards for YouTube and down in the description for everybody else, if you'd like to see about some of those. And now we'll get on to today's song, I'm a Believer by the Monkees. This was a big hit. Written by Neil Diamond, it was released in 1966 and actually hit the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 the very last week of 1966. We find it today beginning at 6th of a 7-week run and the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm a Believer by the Monkees, #1 on February 4th, 1967. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called, no really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Do not disturb.
Okay, I turn Do Not Disturb on.
Good job. January 2nd. The 16th. It's all written in Roman numerals, so I had to translate it. Hopefully I got that pronunciation close. Yeah, Annie's ready to go. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work.